Alright, welcome to another Train Sim World 2 video. This time we're driving the Class 166 from Eaglescliffe to Darlington on the Tees Valley Line route. And today I want to cover a few things that are going to be new. First of all, you haven't seen this locomotive before. I've not driven it in any of my videos except for in the stream. I think the last stream that I did, three DLCs, one stream, and this locomotive is part of Great Western Express, that specific DLC. So if you want to get your hands on it, it's a diesel commuter train, very nice little thing. I've actually really enjoyed using this so far, and I'm sure that it's going to be something that you see often from me. I'm going to try and vary things between one locomotive and the other, because so far we've only really had the 377 as a modern sort of commuting train to go around. That's electric, and this one is diesel hydraulic. So this one does make a fair bit of racket. Now there's an invisible wall here. I'm not sure why. It may be because the doors are open on the train, that's probably why. However, I couldn't get through, so I decided I'll go throughout the whole train to get to the rear cab and set things up there, which is just turning on the tail lights just to make sure. And yeah, the 166 is very easy to drive. It's very easy to get your hands on. It's very easy to get to grips with it. The only thing I will warn about is the braking. If you've driven the 377, you'll know that the braking is pretty effective. In this, it's still effective, but it's not as effective. But yeah, if you like diesel trains, I'd recommend picking this one up as well, because it makes a nice noise. They did actually do the sound, the Ollie sound stuff to do with Great Western Express. So the 166 and the 43 have had a sound and sound effect overhaul. Before, the sound was all messed up. It wasn't really like real life at all. However, because of enthusiasts in the community, they've well, the enthusiasts know a lot more about me about what a train should sound like, what a specific model, and they had some complaints, so Dovetail have gone ahead and overhauled the sound, getting it fired back up again. Lovely diesel engine, lovely, brilliant. It makes a nice noise, because that's somehow appealing to me. Also, I'd like to let you know that I'm not well at the moment. I definitely have a fever. So it's either the flu or it's probably something like COVID. If it is something like COVID, don't worry, I have a COVID test on the way. I've been told by doctors to go ahead and get that done to make sure, and then I can self-isolate. I have been doing that anyway because I suspected something was wrong, but hey, just to make sure, what this is. If it comes back negative, then it's probably the flu, and it definitely feels like it. But then again, they did say flu-like symptoms for COVID-19. Do recommend that if you've got symptoms of anything, you should get them checked out. And if you feel any of the symptoms that have been listed, so high temperature, new cough, loss of sense of taste and smell, and also having chills, like you do with the flu sometimes, and maybe headaches too. Just if you don't feel well, get a test if you can, and then you'll know whether you need to self-isolate for 2 weeks or not. Now, if it is the flu, a lot of people who are vulnerable to it will have had their flu vaccines. I know my grandparents have. I don't have it because I'm not vulnerable to it. I've had the flu plenty of times before. I mean, it does still affect you, but you do build up a resistance to the flu eventually. So the first time you have it, it's absolutely awful, but then, it's the number of times you get it increases, the more of a resistance you have to it next time. So do make sure that you look after yourself when you have anything wrong with you. As usual, don't just count on your body to do everything for you. Anyway, now that the illness stuff is out of the way, I'd like to talk about Southeastern High Speed, which is the upcoming DLC for Train Sim World 2. That's going to be available from the 4th of February on all platforms. I've been told that console users will get it uploaded to the store earlier than on Steam, I think, so you get it about, I don't know, maybe a few hours early, according to some users on the Dovetail forums that I kind of asked about, because I was wondering, is the release date the same for consoles? Do they get it later? Do they get it sooner? Turns out they get it slightly sooner, but only by a few hours, so yeah, whatever. Dovetail did actually do a stream today, today technically being the first, even though now it's the second as I'm recording this and uploading it. They did do a stream based on Southeastern High Speed, so if you want to check that out, you can go and do that. That was using the shipping build on PC, so the version that we are going to get. Before they were using the developer build, which had sound issues and some missing features. The shipping build, for the most part, looks okay. They did go through the stream and did find a couple of things here and there that need to be changed. And according to one of the team members, Sam, quite like Sam actually, sounds brilliant. And Sam and Matt are actually my favourites of the Dovetail team. Although I'm sure they're all great people. They basically do all the public streaming and outreach stuff. But they do work on the game now and then when they can. They're all at home, remotely working on it. But basically, according to Matt and everyone in the team, it's basically those issues are going to be fixed within not a week, but well, probably a week, within the week of it coming out. So they'll be fixed quite quickly. Those issues, bigger issues, will obviously take longer, but they are tiny little things like windscreen wipers not producing any sound, and this is on PC, so console builds may not have that issue. At the end of the day, pretty sure they're going to work out all the bugs, and I have noticed two new problems, right, whilst I've been playing scenario planning mode. Basically, on Great Western Express, all the services that I've currently played in the scenario planner, so all the journeys that I've made, have had issues with the doors not registering them as being unlocked, and also on Northern Transpennine leaving Leeds Station, there's a red light and it won't go to green. Now originally I thought, okay, maybe there's a train coming into the station that's in the way, but then I set up one where I'm the only person on the line at that moment in time, and nope, still on red, and it won't change. I sat there for about five minutes just to make sure. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm hoping that I can fix that on my own, but if it's an issue that they're gonna have to fix, I'll jump on the forums, because I don't think anyone said anything about that, or I'll check the roadmap to make sure that they're not already fixing it. Then it's kind of pointless for me to talk about it. That is a shame though, because Leeds is my one of my local stations in real life, so it's a bit shame that we can't leave Leeds. We can go to Leeds, it's just going from Leeds. Nah, red light. Either way, that's that. Southeastern High Speed looked good to me. And of course, just as a reminder, we are getting the 395 Javelin, which is a high-speed train, which uses both alternating currents from the pantographs and also third rail power as well. And the alternating current pantograph catenary thing only runs from London St Pancras all the way to Ebbsfleet, that station, and then for the rest of the way it is DC third rail power, and it's a lot slower on DC than it is on AC. But just to clarify, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I'll mention that when I do a stream, when I pick up the DLC, that these are the intricacies and the nuances that you've got to keep in mind. I'm still not sure how the 395 is going to fare in Scenario Planner. because Scenario Planner acts as if every train is constantly powered. So will it be on AC power or DC power at that point? I'll be able to tell with how sluggish it is. Yeah, maybe I can switch between the two in-game, because the game doesn't care about whether you actually have power in reality or not. If you select off the rails, you can drive anything anywhere. So I wonder how that's going to work. I'll try and find that out. Maybe I will on the night, and I'll trial it on... well, this track would be perfect, to be honest. Well, yeah, this track would probably be a good idea. Anything with AWS, or just anything that doesn't have an overhead catenary would do, and then I can kind of see which mode of power it wants to pick. It might revolve around, maybe there is a catenary in the route that you picked, and maybe it does change based on that. Though at the moment I can't tell, so I haven't really said anything about that, to be honest. And also, as well as the 395, we're getting the 375, which is exactly like the 377. They are a carbon copy inside. Different layout for the headlights, and that's about it. And they'll have different destinations in the information system, you know, the information boards, dot matrix stuff. And I also set off in neutral. I'm supposed to be in forward, and I realise what the problem is. Just correct myself. I do make mistakes. And also from that stream, I would like to say they did fix the issues people in the community that we're talking about, like the sound for the 395, which was actually reusing the one from the 375 or the 377. Really, it was using that sound pack in the developer build, but now in the proper shipping build, when they showed it off, it was using the right sounds for the motors and everything like that. They did fix things like they have got stuff about destination balls. I can't really tell what it is that they said was wrong originally, because I didn't really notice. But just to say that they did fix stuff to do with the destination boards in the stations. They've also sorted out the route itself, because people were complaining, oh, there's no fences here, or that fence is the wrong colour, or the gravel, or aggregate, is it aggregate, or gravel? Don't know. The rocks that they use to, on the tracks themselves, you know, all the gravelly, rocky bits, you know. Ballast, yeah, it's ballast. So the ballast was apparently the wrong colour, like ever so slightly. So it was more of a grey. I think now it was more of a brown originally, and now they changed it to a darker grey. So I mean, that's dedication, changing the colour of that. I'm not sure how they did that. I mean, the ballast was universal all the way through, so they probably just went into the editor for that and just sort of changed the colour, and that's it. It affected the whole route. Probably that easy, to be honest with you. And yeah, those were the changes that people were kind of requesting. As for the route itself, I mean, it may not be 100% accurate to real life. There may be some things that are slightly out of place, some things that are missing, but that's either to do with limitations, or it's just a video game, guys. I know it's a real world simulator, but does it really matter that much? Not really, not to me anyway. I'll enjoy the route. I enjoyed looking at it, certainly in the streams and all that, so I'm not one to complain. I just mention these things because other people mention them, not because I actually care about them. I mean, I like the fact that they fix things, and like the fact that they make changes based on what people have written in and sort of said. And it also performed very smoothly, though that was on PC. Obviously PCs can run the hell out of anything if you have the right specs. For consoles, I imagine it will work just fine. Probably not top of the range performance the whole way. Might be some things that make it chug along, but that's just the nature of consoles. They only get so powerful. So they have to work with limitations, obviously the whole team. Anyway, what I was going to cover as well in this video, aside from the new 166, which I'm going to, well, it's not even new, this thing has been out for years, but aside from the 166, me getting my hands on it, and driving along this route and also talking about southeastern high speed, did want to say that, here we go, did want to say about the content of my videos and how they will be working, sort of. What I actually have is a spreadsheet with a lot of possible routes, and I just kind of call them services because I plan them out and plan what locomotives we're going to see on the line and what destinations we're going to be visiting, and I'll be doing those in videos pretty soon. So the first stage is streams and sort of showcases. So this is the showcase for the 166. This is showing it off on its own, really, because there aren't any other trains on the line at the moment, and I don't think we've been in any videos showcasing these locomotives where we've seen another thing, because I haven't set them up. I may start doing that. I did consider doing that, but then I thought, nah, well, I want to show off this train and not get distracted by things that are coming down the line, with which point I have to talk about them a little bit as well. So I'm just here to showcase what I have at the moment, showing you the options I have for what to drive in Train Sim World 2, really, and what you're going to be seeing featuring in some videos. Now, you will be seeing the 395 and the 475 in the stream for Southeastern High Speed, but that won't be the last time, because I'll be using those locomotives on other services as well, probably on routes they weren't intended to be on, and just really putting them through their paces and using them to the best of my ability, and having them appear on the routes with us and all that good stuff. So you'll see more of everything, really. I'm not going to let any train go to waste. And those trains will have livery changing options. Now, I haven't had the best experience with the livery editor feature. First of all, I don't seem to be able to pull anything off that looks half decent, and also when I try and use that in game, what happens is the game will crash. So I believe if you watch one of the streams where I made a trainbow livery, which is, you know, a special train that has a rainbow for LGBTQ plus representation, you know, pride and stuff, special editions of, you know, liveries that real world companies do. It's a real thing. You'll maybe see the trainbow version of the 395 at some point. I'll try and get that up for you. It's a random event though, can't guarantee it. But yeah, it does crash the game after a little while of being in game. I thought, oh, this is fine, and then boop, crashed, and it actually ended the stream as well. So I thought, okay, maybe I need to kind of tone it down with the layers, and I made another layer, another livery, sorry, for the Talent 2. That also has options, because that came in Counter Archon. So I thought, okay, I'll make another one, and then that one also crashed. Wonderful. So if I can change kind of like the base colour and get away with it, then I probably want to do that for the upcoming 313, which is a DLC locomotive that I don't know when that's going to come out, but you know, you'll see it when I get it, basically. I'm going to change the colour on that because I'm not really a big fan of the livery it's going to be in. It's going to be on the Southern Rail sort of network livery, like the 377, yeah, that one. So like the 377, you know, the sort of teal, green and white. But it doesn't look too great on the 313 in my personal opinion, so I'm kind of thinking, maybe I can kind of change the base colour and use it like that, because I don't know, I may like it in the flesh a lot more, may get used to it, but if I want to change the colour I will, Hopefully it doesn't crash the game. I'll only be changing the colour, because I'm really not sure what I can get away with as far as livery, custom liveries go. So I'm sorry about that, the fact that I can't access that feature, because it seems to just crash the game. Yeah, sorry. I'm not blaming the developers really, I'm kind of blaming the PS4, because it probably works just fine on PS5 and Xbox Series X, and on PC obviously, because that can run on anything, like I just said, you know, depending on what your specs are. It's probably the PS4's fault. It was probably intended to be a next gen, it works the best on next gen sort of thing. But, you know, it shouldn't crash the game though. It really shouldn't. I hope they sort that out. Or maybe I'm just using too many layers on it. But it doesn't really restrict me, so whatever. Either way, content planned. I'll be doing routes with different locomotives, kind of vary things around and choose different times of day, different routes to different places. Hopefully it won't get too samey. I've already planned out all the routes on the East Coast way that I've currently devised up, though I may miss out some of them because some of them have the issue with the doors that I mentioned in the 377 showcase video, from Brighton to Lewis. I believe you've seen that, or Eastbourne to Lewis, one of those two. And then well, I'll basically just keep making videos. You'll see a stream for South Eastern High Speed, you'll see a stream for the 313 when that comes, you'll see one for the 465, which is part of South Eastern High Speed, though DLC locomotive releasing separately. You'll see those when I get them. I'll do a stream dedicated to each one, where I go through the tutorial and get my hands on it, and I know you can watch me basically fail to operate it perfectly, because like I said, first experience of those trains. I want to make sure that I get something if I want it. So I've already sort of calculated how much money I'm going to be spending. I've set it aside. Either way, we are coming to the end of the video. This has been quite a long one as well, 23 minutes and 11 seconds. 313 has been shown off pretty well in this episode. This is the lovely station at Darlington. Although there is no red signal here at the end, so that's pretty weird. I believe this is the freight track now. Either way, we're at the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you enjoyed me talking about the things that I talked about. And I'll see you in whatever the next video is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be. I have a floaty schedule, let's just say.